do that according to the statute, but do we want to send a letter back to them asking some of those clarifying questions and getting clear answers from them?
Well, let me start. I haven't read that letter. It seems ambiguous and doesn't make a lot of sense. As they talk about that, the Benton County makes the decisions on hiring and firing because they turned that all over to us.
But in actuality, Benton County doesn't make decisions on hiring and firing. The Benton Franklin Superior Court does.
Superior Court does. That's true. That's true. So it's kind of, I don't know where they did some of that, but I know they became all Benton County employees because Franklin County could never pay their employees. Could never do pay raise stuff. I remember the history, right? So they all became Benton County employees because of that. I mean, issues that they had. So I don't know if I'll let my other two colleagues weigh in. I don't know if we need to clarify what's if they're already signing contracts with Martin Hall and hire. I don't see how. In my understanding, they got a letter from the Superior Court saying that no, they couldn't proceed. But if they're signing contracts, it makes you think that they're already heading down that path. I know they have a board meeting special board meeting today at 2:00. Maybe we can finish up by then and we can watch theirs. But it just, I don't know, delaying it, and I'll seek, listen to legal advice. Siefken, are you part of the Siefken Richland family?
Yes.
Oh, well, welcome to Benton County. Longtime family, know them well. So, I don't know. Input and legal input, if delaying is going to make a difference really, or
I don't know that we were proposing delaying it. I think that the two actions would happen simultaneously.
Okay.
We would still
I'm good
file
with
and set. If for some reason we had belief that they were going to do this and negotiate, and then potentially we could withdraw our filing, but I think we should file.
Right.
It's just my opinion that we should just move forward with the filing and do the letter simultaneously if the board wanted to do that.
Commissioner Albert.
Back from you, or let me give you feedback. A couple questions for you, just for clarity, and then we're good. And I think we need to go a little bit of back history in case this is definitely going to go public. But as far as the administrator side and that being posted, I believe are the judges. They're the ones that actually would be hiring an administrator. Do they have that authority? Is that the judge or is that the commissioners?
So under the RCW, the commissioners authorize funding to the court system, and then the court, as independently elected officials, they do the hiring and firing within their department.
Correct. I just want to make a clarification on that. As far as the budget that they just passed, I think they approximately have about $500,000 for juvenile detention center. That cuts us short about 2.5 million, roughly around there. Is that correct? So they really don't show that they have the financial commitment as far as the funding they pushed into their budget to go further. Is that correct?
That is our belief. Yeah.
Okay. And then yesterday I received this letter and I forwarded it and gave it to county administrator. I was very confusing to me, so I thought I'd go ahead and get some more people that are more intelligent than I am. I think you had read it as well. The three of us were kind of confused on this. We took it to our chief civil attorney. It was once again, it was very vague. It didn't really make sense on it. So I don't know if they're going to honor or not. But if you look at it, the financial commitment is just not there within the budget to do it. So that says a lot of it. And already, putting in the contract, I believe, with Medical Lake, that just shows they're going forth on this too. This is a big hit for Benton County. It's hard to put that into our programs, into our budget. And so I think it's very significant that we need to have this, and I'll be willing to make a motion here in a few minutes. But before I do that, one more question for you, Matt. I think it's good for the public to understand, that we're doing a renovation, how that came about, how much money they were going to have to put into that effect, and what we agree on, and that letting the public know that this was just renewed in 2023 as well. at least two of the three commissioners were on there when that agreement was put in place, I believe.
That is accurate. And so the just high level review of why that new agreement came into place. The juvenile facility was originally constructed in 1974. Last major renovation was done in 1996. And the condition of it was deteriorating to the point where we had major system failures and it required a full rehabilitation. And so obviously Franklin County has been a partner in that facility since its original inception and has benefited from that structure. And our agreement at the time said that they would participate in their proportional share, typically around between 30 and 35%, depends on population, or not population, it depends on population of high at-risk youth within. So based on an OFM projection. So they would have been on the hook for around 30% of that remodel, which is about $7 million. And so they obviously did not have that kind of capital to fund a renovation like that. So we agreed at the time that they would turn over 100% ownership of the facility to us. And in exchange for that, we would do the remodel, but we'd have this a 10-year agreement where starting 8 months in, and the 8 months in gave them some consideration for value that they had in the facility when they turned it over to us. Then after that 8 months in, they would pay a $12,500 monthly facility charge to help us recoup some of those remodel costs. It doesn't get us to $7 million, but it was what we felt was a fair and reasonable amount to get there. And so that was the crux of it. Most of the agreement remained primarily the same. It had splits for the various programs. Those didn't change. Really came down to the facility, and then also putting them, making them aware, not necessarily that we were going to increase the maintenance effort that went into that building. It had been a pretty bare bones. We had a half-time FTE doing facility maintenance, and it showed. And so we wanted them to be aware, and it's clearly contained in the agreement that we were going to increase that to the same level that we put into our other county facilities. And so that cost of that maintenance was going to go up. So those were the two major changes in that. But yes, it was signed in 2023, and Commissioner Mullen and Commissioner Didier are signatories to that agreement, and they are still on the board. So.
And then the last question on that, I know when I'm looking at this letter, it talks about Benton County was responsible for the hiring, supervising, and firing of juvenile justice center employees, administrator, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. One of the things that we did do take on Benton County, and I just want to make sure on that, is we did have the ability and the staff and the square footage and the facilities to do the payroll for both counties. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the reasons why we were doing that, not only do we have that ability to help both counties to be more efficient and cost effective, but it also allowed, if we did it in the past, where I think you told me the history was where one county did it one year, the next county did the other, with the unions and payroll and the difference in healthcare benefits and everything, it became very difficult to go ahead and do. So that's one of the things that we, as a county, took on, and that's the main reason, is because of going back and forth and how payroll is and benefits and those, because it varies from county to county. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's accurate. And that happened over 20 years ago. That change happened, and so I mean that's been in place for quite a long time. But the historical does show, as you said, that it used to switch back and forth every year on which county administered the programs, and that became very problematic as the benefits packages for the two counties drifted apart. And so people were switching back and forth between healthcare systems and everything every year. It was very difficult.
So we've been really good stewards between the two counties, but there comes to a point where, like I said, if I'm in business, I've been a business owner here locally for the last 30 years, and if you make a commitment, you have a written contract. It's not oral; it's actually a written contract, which is legal in the state of Washington, I believe. We're providing the services. You're expecting to get paid, and so that's what we're talking about today.
Right.
Thank you.
You're good. Okay. Anything else?
No. Commissioners, that's I said we have a resolution for the commissioners to. Oh, sorry.
So, and I apologize, and I didn't mean is you were talking about a letter, and I do think that's important because this is relatively there's a conflict within the body of the letter. It's pretty confusing. So I think if you were, if the board, the commissioners, my fellow commissioners would agree on that, I don't have any issue. I think it would be important to go ahead and provide that letter, make it very, very black and white, and ask the basic questions with yes or no. So we have clarity, and that way it helps both counties to understand where everybody's going.
So if that's something that commissioners want to do, it'd be good to have a motion, maybe direct staff to prepare a letter for the chairman to sign on behalf of the commissioners.
Yeah, I would make that motion.
Yeah.
Second.
I'll second.
Second. Okay, all in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye.
And we
opposed?
have the
Okay.
resolution for the.
And now
commissioners to
resolution
consider
for the-
authorizing the prosecutor's office to
Right.
proceed.
Perfect. So I make a motion to approve commencing litigation against Franklin County. Would that be good enough? Or do I need more?
That's good.
Okay.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion passes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Um,
Don't have anything.
yeah,
further unless
seeing
the
no
board has additional-
business regard to this, then, we'll just say the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.